How's it going, everybody? Before I start part 2, I was editing this video and I realized that the audio is really loud in the video, and that's because I am using this. I can't record Katawa Shoujo with the current recorder that I use to record my PC games. Like example is this one I'm recording or showing on the screen right now. So basically, I'm using a different recorder and I'm not used to it yet, and so I noticed that the audio is a lot louder than my voice at some parts. And so if you guys could just bear with it for this part and then next part, because I recorded the 3 parts together. So after part 3, part 4 will have better audio. If it doesn't sound good, I'll probably honestly just start doing it like I used to, where I record audio and video separately, and that way I'll be able to adjust levels. But if you guys could just please bear with it, that should be all. And I guess you guys can start getting into part 2 now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Part 2 is pretty interesting. We get to meet everybody. And basically that's it. So thank you guys and enjoy the video. Peace. Unprofessional water bottles. Act 1, life expectancy. Squeaky chair. Yeah, more reading time. Hope you guys can bear with this. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a hole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. And of course, I didn't want to get struck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels so good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone. As my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. Doesn't feel like the kind of grounds school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all of their park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded for now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many just for a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's like an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it just doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling of this is real or caused by my expectation of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone here. It's kind of eerie. Makes me wish there was somebody here so I could have an anchor. I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. Makes me think about the hospitals again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate is bothering me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in the back of my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people standing in the lobby, so it's logical. Character number 1! Let me get a drink of water. You must be Niki? Nakai. So, you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asks you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes. Afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel kind of nervous. This is really... Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Okay, basically this is where the interactiveness comes in. We get to start picking decisions. And as I'm almost out of water, that's not good. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Okay, so if I want to play this like myself, I kind of need to, like, if this is myself, I'd introduce myself in the class, because why wouldn't I? Then I'd just feel like really, I feel like everybody would think I'm weird. So yes, of course. Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Yeah, that's what I thought. Of course, but not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Exactly how I am. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in the chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as a classroom for class 3-3. Muta opens the door and enters. Oh my god, it's that picture again. That picture is so nasty. God, I remember seeing that picture. That picture is terribly nasty. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. Oh, look how cute they are! Look at how cute of them! I follow the teacher in the classroom and look around partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there's a lot of space left over around and in between on the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wood desks with shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? They're probably like me, and there's something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking to you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair and that's pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as she would make herself invisible. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be wearing... must be singing the blah 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 blah. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motion. Sign language? She peers at me over the rim of her glasses and goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. This cheerleading girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She is really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hand as so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but I hide it by blowing in thanks for his applause I did not deserve. Collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone here, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. Should I say something more? Something more exciting? End up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with the little that I said. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bad. Thank you, Josh, for texting me and spelling senpai S-E-N-P-A or S-E-N-P-I-A. Thank you for spelling that wrong. You're now part of this video because you wanted to text me 3 times and then spell senpai wrong. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that I'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything that you might want to know, and who else will be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces we'll be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Thanks, Teach. Alright, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. As she calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hands at me. Take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. God, that was a terrible laugh. I'm gonna have to try to get better at that laugh. That was terrible. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. She-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her. I'm the only one using the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she's been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short, yet carefully, neatly brushed hair and a pair of oval-shaped glasses, balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seems to be alternate to every few seconds between her analytical and slightly bored. Sorry, something popped up on the screen. It's nice to meet you. And I did that. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi, this is Michi. Okay. Okay, I can. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I started to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people, and who's better to explain things to you." I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person to translate things back and forth for her. I'm like her interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, right? Aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here so soon. Today? He-chan, right? He-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I'd imagine. Yeah, you look just like a He-chan. God, that laugh is terrible. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her finger on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a bit overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants to know that she's the class... wants you to know that she's the class rep. So if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Mute. Do you like the school so far? We could show you around a little bit if you've had the time to walk around. Familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word for a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks. That would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight into class today. That laugh is still terrible. I'm trying to get like a girly laugh, but it just doesn't work. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going to go before you go there. Not just with the school either. Always. Even if there's a trip to convenience. Now I'm stumbling with my words. Even if it's a trip to convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? God, that's so bad. Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I try not to say words, or say curse words in my videos, just because, I don't know, it just makes me feel better about uploading them. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them were smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal. As much as needing help, stop looking like you just failed a test. Alright. Mute. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay, maybe that was too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Heh, okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume will be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Huh? Oh right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now. Oh, Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. What? That too. Yeah. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of both being difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in class. Despite our late start, Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she is looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work, and I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bell rings, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare. But Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate the students who need special diets. How nice, it almost feels like I'm back in the hospital, eating proportions measured with scientific precision enough to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to the table, sitting opposite her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me into the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at the person who talks to use proper and polite? Don't you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guys, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Unprofessional stuff going on with my phone at 11:43 p.m. Okay, so right here we have to ask them about anything. So let's ask about the library since I like books. Oh yeah, there's a library in the school. Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives kind of a frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, and then picks up with her smile again. There it is! It's on the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideway glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they were talking about student girl stuff or something. I quickly, do something.